Hello, and welcome back. So, the last time we did this, we were wiring endpoints to handle routing through, I believe I called them marshals. So we handled wiring the input marshal to the output marshal, and now we punted on having that do what we expect. And if I remember right, I left with all tests passing. Or at least in a statement it would pass. We'll find that out. A little verification. Make sure I'm playing on a clean slate and that in my hour and a half of playing here I haven't wrecked anything too bad. I've got 9 tests. Guessed. Well, 8. This one doesn't count. It's in a certain true and just making sure that my environment's set up. So at this point, I think it's pretty safe to say we can delete that. Oh, yeah, it's checked in. We don't want that anymore. Okay, that's good. Okay. So now, what the plan for this next half hour is to start handling start the bit of the process that's going to do with the output. So, output. So this means we're probably going to have to end up dealing with something like an output stream. And we're going to have to worry about the ability to send different HTTP codes back. Primarily something in the 200 range for an OK, or redirect, or any of that nonsense. Probably just 200 for status message OK. We're also going to have to worry about some error codes in the 300 range. We're going to have to pick one to signal an error has happened, probably on the server side. I might want to pick 317 because I'm a teapot is the best error code. However, we'll worry about that later. So I'm going to need a way of taking a Pojo and translating it into some specified output format. And it would be nice if this process that took the Pojo and dumped it out used all the same formats. So if we occasionally run it, if I run in dates, it would make all my dates formatted the same. It would format all my numbers the same. It would format like money types the same. If I ever have money types, that'd be weird if I did. But I don't know what the future holds for that formatting nonsense because I can't predict how I will handle it. So I want a uniform formatting. I probably am going to choose JSON as my output format because it's simple, the browser understands it by default, and I am building a front controller. So that's going to be my preferred choice, first choice. I could do XML. There are a lot of things out there for parsing XML. It's great. The browser kind of sort of understands it. It's questionable if it does or not, because you can use jQuery to navigate any XML structure just as well as you can navigate the DOM. So that is my second choice of anything. Both of those formats are really heavy if you want to like stream. Oh, they're big. They're both text based. So I don't have a packed byte format. That'd be nice if I supported that too, because why not? Packed bytes are neat. Packed bit, or not byte. Packed bit. But that is some thought for later. Okay, so now I think we're going to do this based on annotations again. In case you hadn't noticed, I quite like Java's annotation system. It's basically all you've seen me use at the moment. So let's not let anyone down by changing what I'm good at or what I'm using. Also, it's nice for consistency. Hey, how does everything in his system work? Oh, it works with annotations. Let me show you the 6 or 7 annotations you need to know. It's a relatively simple, straightforward API. So I grab my keyboard here and let's start building something that I would expect a sample response to look like. So we're gonna have a sample response. Okay. So what did we say? We needed an error code. The ability to say if it's an error or a success. So let's make an annotation. I like the word HTTP error code. Or response code. And that's going to take 200. So a sample response is a positive response. So we return success. We've successfully completed our thing. Okay. Let's create that annotation. Let's put it in the web package, destination package, and put it with other annotations. I like that. That makes sense. Excellent. We're going to need in here a value, int value. We're going to have to set our retention policy. Runtime. As always, I am not writing a compile module, and I don't particularly like the deprecated flags that just warn you for compilation. Okay, target. I think this should only ever live on a class interface. Seems reasonable. Doesn't make any sense to just put the response code on a method or a field. Okay, there's that. We have our HTTP response code. Now, there we go. So we're saying this is 200. Okay, so now, if we happen to be XML, we need a top level tag. I could say that no matter what, this is like T, or just something weird. However, I could also like specify them. In JSON, this would be it's like what type of object you are. What's a good name for that? I like elements. So basically, what I could get now is something that would look like this. So right now, this would format out as okay. HTTP header nonsense up here, and then talking about what I want this inner structure to look like. So maybe something like, well, let's fill it out a bit more so we can see what I'm backing it to. Public int get integer. It's going to return 0. Public string get string. Return a fine response. Okay. That's enough to illustrate what I want to do, I think. So what I'm saying when I'm talking about if I want something on my top level response is, well, it's like a name. So right now I could use the method description to name this. So we could have something like this. Integer. Well, it has to be. We'll write proper JSON. 0, comma. Get string. It would not cap. That's what I got last game. Okay, so I could write something like that. I could also have this as like, say, the class name in here that generated it. So at I don't even know what to call that. Let's call it just type. Well, response. At response. Sample response. There's a P in there somewhere. Okay. So I could do that. Something like that. Or the equivalent XML with this guy being the top level element. There are a couple of problems if I use the method names and the class name for stuff like that. Primarily being it means I'm changing my outward facing API or outward facing API responses every time I refactor a method name or a class name, which is bad. It means I can inadvertently cause chaos if anyone has ever built against my API, which is really bad, especially since IntelliJ and NetBeans and Eclipse all give you incredibly nice refactor tools. They make changing method names easy. And this is an operation I don't particularly want to be easy, or at least It should be easy to rename. It should be hard for someone to recognize that they're inadvertently are hard to make a mistake of not knowing that you're changing an outward-facing API. Because outward-facing APIs need to remain as constant as possible. Ideally, you would never make a mistake and be forced to remove or rename something you expose to the world. But that is never going to happen because everyone makes mistakes. However, it's also should be easy to add to because addition always should be easy. So what I'm thinking is I could have another annotation. So we'll put here at see, these are keys here. It's a key in JSON. In XML we would call it an element. So a key, an element, a tag. I don't identifier? At identifier? Ooh, that's closer to what it is. For now, I think I will stick with that. Again, this one is actually all internal, so it'll be easy for me to change this and not affect the outside world. So I like at identifier. I'm not going to use at ID because if I want to bring in Java later, at ID is taken, and I don't want that confusion. So this is going to be a string. So in our case, we would say something along the lines of success. And I would want to keep, success, maybe, or sample response, or some flag to identify that that is specific to thing. So a common identifier. Okay. And then we could be like, hey, this is my super secret ID. And this is. So then down here we would get something that looked like success. It would give you an ID. It would give you a reason. That looks like something you would expect after you got, like, say, you shove something into a data, or inserted something you used to create an operation. Identifier feels like it's an okay name. I don't know if element would be nicer, or tag. Key. Key doesn't really. I'm not sure what I would use there. So far, identifier is the one I'm happiest with. Again, this is relatively easy to change, but a little bit thought up front means I won't have a check in 3-4 weeks later. It's like, hey, I hate what I called this. I'm now changing it. Okay, so I think I'm going to do that. Oh, the reason I decided to put these on the methods and not fields, because that would be acceptable as well, is that I can guarantee, well, I can call the method as long as it's not protected or private without interfering with any of the security settings. However, and it's good practice to make all of your fields private. So I chose that for that reason. Also, I could put a formula in my display object. Let's say I store something in the form of integers and I want to make it look like a decimal number. So I can divide and put some stuff in there, do a little bit of formatting here. I could also perform like a function, like multiply all of my internal IDs by 100 to make it look like there's more of them or something. Stuff like that. Gives me a last chance to form a little bit of logic before everything goes down. And that way it's not, again, that's doing work when you're going to render. That's debatable about whether or not you want to do that. Because everything is a trade-off. I'm just shifting load to the render time instead of beforehand. So, for now, excellent. That was cool. Did you see that? It changed the source package. That's nice of it. We'll put that there. Add a retention policy. Runtime. We're gonna have a target. This one could be type. I'm gonna have to use an array here. This could be type or method. I'm not gonna put it on the constructor because I don't know that that would mean anything for this particular one. I also need a string value. I could call this something special, but I do like, I don't know. I like how you don't have anything here. So this is a success. This is a responsive type success. And it's got an H, so it's going to send out an HTTP code 200. And we could always HTTP servlet response code. No, it's HTTP servlet response. Dot. Yeah, it'd be like server code accepted. Continue. Bad. God. See, there's all of them. 417, expectation failed. Move permanently. There's all these funny error codes you can choose from. They all have meanings, reset content. So the browser will do different things depending on which one of these you sent down. Accepted to yeah. For now, we'll just send it 200. General success. So I'm pretty sure that's what that 200 error code is. That would require more rating. Okay. Or okay. Get rid of that. Okay. So that now I have to make that do something. So the next thing I can think of is making these all have a generic interface that they implement, just so I have something more restrictive that I could make marshals play with, but I'm not going to do that for now. So now I need to create an object that walks this structure. Okay, which is going to be fun. So now I have to decide whether or not I want to allow extension to happen. So like, I can extend one of these guys. Yeah, I think I will. Okay. So now, let us start building that. So given an object, we need to render or walk the structure and delegate off to some object about what we've visited. So we're going to build a simple visitor pattern, because this class structure is a very good example of a tree, because I can have other classes, I can have other nodes down here. Well, strictly speaking, this is a terminal node, and if I had another complex object in here that was also had an identifier on the top, I would visit it and walk its nodes going all the way down. So that's a depth first search, which should be relatively easy to do. And let's begin. We will I need annotated response. Walker. Yeah, let's call it an annotated response walker. Annotated walker. Okay. So we now need a way of walking the tree. So public void. It's going to take an object to walk. Okay. That would make sense. Now we're gonna need to call off to something to let them know to render something, because we're gonna have to worry about types as well as visiting things. So for example, in JSON, you saw that the 0 from an integer, an int, or an integer, got rendered out as without quotes, and a string gets rendered out with quotes. Same with booleans are also not quoted. So there are a couple of things I have to quote in some cases, not quote in others. So I'm gonna have to get the type information. String type. Okay. Which is good. Okay. Now, for simplicity's sake, we'll narrow some of the types down that we can render to be smaller and just call Java's toString things we don't know about. That's some decisions I can make. Okay. So now let's start with some simple tests. We'll TDD our way into a solution. Before we TDD our way into a solution, we're going to want to construct this with... So this is the guy that's walking the tree. He's going to have to announce when he's entered a node, what he's encountered there, and when he's exited the node. And if this pattern sounds familiar, it's actually just the sax parser pattern. If you're ever used a sax parser to run through XML. Okay, I'm going to try and replicate that almost verbatim. Okay, except in this case, I'm walking Java class instead of an XML document. Okay, so we'll call this a listener, an annotated response walker listener. We'll make that an interface. Public static. Well, I don't have to make it static. Interfaces are static by definition. Public interface. And annotated response. Walker listener. We will also take one of those. Or should I... We'll deconstruct it. There we go. Touch our test. Get a method, because we got a test up, I'll just call this. Well, given non annotated object, throw exception. That's not how you spell exception. But thankfully, I've got this awesome tool. Always awesome tool. IntelliJ. Good work, guys. Give it non-annotated object, throw exception. Okay, that seems pretty straightforward. So let's make a new annotated blocker. We'll give it null for now because it should be fine. And in this case, let's... That won't have anything on it. So this test is going to pass, which is bad. Let's expect something from the family of the league argument exception for now. Okay. Now, more degenerate. Before we do that, let's also verify that given a null, we will throw an exception to. Because I can't walk a null object. Given null, throw exception. So now, I have two failing tests. We'll comment this one out because I can't deal with two failing things. Whatever would I do? So if to walk. I like languages that let you do that. Like not to walk. Then at the same time, I really don't. Throw new illegal. Okay, so that'll satisfy the test, but it doesn't satisfy the spirit of telling people what happened. So now let's come down here. Enable to walk a null object. And that's going to extend a legal argument exception. And we'll throw that guy instead. Because now, I'm like, hey, it tells you what went wrong, and a little bit about why it went wrong. Because I can't do that, Dave, it'll tell you. Excellent. Test passed. A little bit of factoring there. So we'll come down to this guy. And we can actually make our test a bit more specific now. Okay. Oh, look. One passes, one fails. Okay. There we go. Now, to get_class is annotation present. Which annotation do we care about? First, let's go with identifier. If it doesn't have an identifier, we can't do it. Throw in a legal state, our legal argument exception, satisfy my test. Being able to walk requires an identifier on the class. Okay. There we go. Pretty sure. Oh, not this. And this is why we write tests, because I would stare at that for ages when I was, if I had written more, and be like, I don't know why it's not working. So let's extract this into a variable. Class of ToWalk. Let's go ToWalk's class. ToWalk class? Haha, ToWalked class. What am I in school? Nah. Okay, so take that. Come back over here. We'll make this more specific. And now we will create a new one. Public static class. Invalid because of missing response response HTTP response code. So this is going to get an add identifier. Invalid. Given non-annotated given non-annotated object, given object missing identifier. We don't expect this one first. We'll expect an illegal exception. Given object missing HTTP code, response code, no exception, and we will instantiate it in one of these guys. Okay, there we go. So now, if not ToWalk class dot is annotation present, is annotation present, that is HTTP response code class. Is annotation. Huh. Throw. Not this throw. Here we go. Argument exception. There we go. We run it. I'll be happy if it works. Excellent. It works. We can watch it fail. Make it work. There you go. Run all of them. Switch fail. Oh no. Over here. What? Stop path. Okay. Now, about out of time. My half an hour of coding with you is almost up. I've got about 40 seconds left, which is not particularly enough to do anything, but so in this half an hour we have, I can give you a bit of a wrap up in that time. I will just stop the timer here so that once I'm done talking, I will call it an end. I actually don't like those. Because now I can. I don't have a war against curlies or anything, and that's. Never mind. Okay, so in this past half hour, I have started building a visitor. Got my listener for my visitor. I call it a walker. I should probably call it a visitor. Patterny. But we've talked about what I'm going to do. So I'm going to walk this guy. I'm going to announce important pieces of the things that I see to him. And I'm going to be like, hey, it's an HTTP response code. Hey, it's identified. In fact, I might have to actually start looking up my class path if I decide that's important. For now, I'm not. They're always going to be flat. Yeah. You don't get extended on the guy. Always flat. I'm boldly making a decision now, because that's what I have. So our test. We made some tests, 3 tests. No asserts. Pretty good for now. We've decided that I want my responses to look something like this, and then I'm going to be able to print them out in potentially JSON or other languages. We have not yet decided that. And also haven't even talked about how to handle arrays or lists, which will be interesting. Okay. So that's that. Actually, for now, I'm not going to worry about lists. Won't worry about that when we get to it. We'll burn that bridge when we get to it. Okay. And this has been a pretty good half hour. I think I'm on a direction that will make some sense. If you can't quite see it, that's fine. I'm not sure that I see all of these fitting together anytime soon. And let's actually, before I walk off, I said I was done. I'm going to put that in here. So I'll start putting these guys as inner classes. That way they're not all mucking up everything. I'll probably move that out as this class gets more and more intense, because visitors tend to do that. And this will be the next object I'll lock. Make sure I can. Well, actually, I have yet to get to this. I have not tested anything successfully using merely the degenerate cases. And this, strictly speaking, should probably throw a null pointer at some point, and it will. Okay, so there we go. That is the start of that. Thank you for watching, if you're out there, and I will try and do this again soon. I have not yet actually decided on what it takes time, because, well, it's a bit hard to come home and program more after programming all day. Weekends are a bit busy, so as I continue to find time for this, it'll rotate around. I will get the last video posted up, and I will be done. Thank you for watching, listening to babble, and have a nice night.